Hi YouTubers, Guild Mouse here. I bet you missed me. And if you didn't, then you should have, because I'm pretty awesome. So in this episode of Tinder Twigs, what we're going to be talking about is uniqueness and how to be unique and things I feel are just a little bit too much uniqueness. You're going to hear that word thrown around a lot, or possibly I won't use it again. We'll see. I have 3 big suggestions for people who are new or experienced in the role-playing realm of playing characters. First being, choose a base class and base race. The reason I say this is there are too many people out there who go, oh my gosh, I want to be this level 40 commander of an army, and I'm 13. That really doesn't work. How did you do that? My suggestion is to choose your base class. Fighter, thief, or magic user. That covers mages and clerics, and yes, I'm a little bit D&D focused, or Pathfinder. Those are just the realms that I'm most familiar with. As far as base races go, human, dwarf, elf. And sometimes just go for human. There's nothing wrong with being human. We're human. And look at what unique butterflies we are. The reason I say choose a base class, base race, aside from uniqueness, opportunities being incredibly limited because you've gone for your outer shell being magnificent as opposed to your inner shell being magnificent, is that you should take the opportunity to learn the system with these base class or base races. If you're not familiar with the system, it gives you the chance to go, okay, I'm a human, I know how humans function, I know most of our traditions. Now I can focus on all this other stuff, like how the game works and when to roll a dice, or how to do the thing! Episode 1. So the second thing to cover is writing a character history. Now look, everybody wants to have that vendetta for their dead parents because a new marshal marched into the town, slaughtered everybody, and somehow you survived. 3 years old, you're not going to remember this. Most cognitive memories, I don't believe, take place until 5. So, there's that. Dead parents are so common that it's kind of sad. But if you're thinking about it in a logical sense, death happens in medieval-esque, or if you're playing Warhammer 40,000, every second of every day. Be an orphan is a way to be like, hey, I have no limits because I don't have anybody in the world who's going to care about me because I didn't think that I would make friends in the entire time that I was in the orphanage or the foster care system or what have you. So in medieval ages, it wasn't uncommon for like a parent to die, especially the mom. Mom dies in childbirth or due to complications. Dad got kicked too hard by a cow, or died in a war. Things like that are more than acceptable. I'm not saying that you can't kill off your parents, but think of a good reason why to kill off your parents. Speaking of parents, rich parents. Oh my gosh, mommy and daddy have so much money and I have this big allowance, and that's just not really how it works. Your parents' money is usually not your money. When you decide, well, forget this life of poofery, I'm gonna wander off into the universe and I'm gonna fight dragons and things like that. Mommy and daddy are not gonna be pleased because you're not there to continue the family line. You've been disconnected. Mom might say, here's a pouch of, couple copper, have a nice day. And dad will never talk to you again because you're dead to him. Oh, such feels. When you're writing a character history, I want you to take the opportunity to really think about it. In your average life, you should have at least 3 big life events. And I don't mean the town was burned to the ground by a dragon. No. 3 big life events. I have a brother or sister. There's a new mayor in my town. The Imperium released a new law. The cow died. You know, things like that. Those are big life events for someone who is easily a new starting character. Moving on, personality is not just conditioning. It's determined by our goals and our aspirations. Communication is key, falls into this because through communicating with other people, you develop a personality. Through interactions with others, you gain your mores and your goals, and you find your aspirations through seeing others and how I booped the mic, and seeing how everything works. Seek out archetypes. There's plenty of books. It's a quick Google search. What's an archetype? A couple that I have for you are a bad boy with a heart of gold, or a poor girl who's determined to have a better, life and be more, or a slums kid who just doesn't want to have to worry about where he or she's gonna get their food every day. Simple things like that are fantastic ways to start developing your personality, because I want a better life. What do I have to do to have that better life? Those help you determine your motivations, because you have to figure out the steps to it. And yes, your options could be, I cut every purse that I find, but you've got to attain, the skills to do that without being caught and then thrown into prison or tortured or, I don't know, all of the above. Again, those three things are base class, base race. Write a simple character history, don't go crazy. And determine your personality, because from your personality, everything else kind of stems. Everything else does stem. So why this video? As a long-term player, I admit, just confessional, I admit that I have made some very unique characters that were so over the top, there was just no way that they could work ever. I am guilty of the Mary Sue, or the Gary Stew. I'm guilty of that, and I've gotten a lot better at it. Now I just go for playing an obnoxious child, because why not? Me aside, I have experienced lots of other players who don't know where to go with their character, especially if they're new to a system, so they go, I want to be the biggest, baddest, most terrifying thing in the world. We end up with these characters that are so advanced in their lifetime. For example, I was born and raised on a ship. I became the captain at age 16 because the entire crew was wiped out by a plague, and I just saved people from abandoned ships along the way, and I found true love while I was on the ship, and I have 3 kids, and then when we crash landed, I lost everything, and you're supposed to be a level 1 character. It doesn't work. So why this video? I'm coming back to what I kind of started with and then got into the nitty-gritty. I feel that too many new players get so wrapped up in glossing the outer shell of their character that they forget that it's more important what's on the inside than, oh look, I have scales and I can shoot harpoons out of my fists. Like, that's cool. I have bone claws. Ching ching. That's cool. Mutants and Masterminds, awesome system. Check it out if you haven't. Superheroes. Woo! That was an awkward hand gesture. More often than not, I've had bigger conflicts with characters that have already got this big, important life mission, and they're brand spanking new to the world, which doesn't give your DM much to work with. It doesn't give you much to work with besides your own motivations, because you're so hyper-focused on your task. Why would you join a party where their goal is to simply adventure or to go enforce the law and things like that? So the short of the long is, have a good think about your new character. Make sure to sit down and write out what you think would be a really good history, and then, cut it in half. I've had to do this a couple of times. I've had 6-page character histories where I looked at it and I went, wow, this was a great story, and I had to start completely over because there was just so much content. And you've got to, if you stick, you don't have to. If you try to stick with the three big life events that I had mentioned before, where someone lives or someone dies, there's a change in your village or your society, a pet dies, or grandma got new teeth. Those are all big things that would have happened in your life that you can utilize, or for motivations to develop your personality. There's, in your history, knights walked through the town with banners and flags just to remind us of who we're, living and serving under. And something clicks in your head and you go, I want to be a knight. And that could play into the kid who wants a better life. So, just easy things there. You always start as a fighter if you want to do that, unless you want to be a cleric, which, holla. I hope that you guys found this useful. If you have any comments or questions, post below. Have a few words for me. Thank you guys for such the nice words last time. I got a lot of new channels to check out of it. I've also made my own channel, which for Guild Month, which is next month because it's Guildmaster Dan's birthday. Yay! I'm going to be doing Let's Plays on my personal channel because this one is all about gaming and tabletop gaming. So we're going to put all of our technology over there on my account. So I hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe to Guildmaster Dan's channel. Go check me out. We'll put a link down in the comments below. There's nothing there yet, but there will be, because Guild Month and so many Let's Plays. Also, give me suggestions for things that I should play on my Let's Plays. I like all kinds of genres of games, especially horror, because when I get scared, I talk a lot. When I get nervous, I talk a lot. So, whatevs. Today was a fantastic braid. How do we do? I don't know how to end the video, but I'm just gonna say bye-bye, guys, and have a great week. Have a good rest of the month. Bye-bye! So you end up with a, I can't even think of it. You end up with an Aasimar Duskblade who decides, F it all, I want to be something great. Cut that part for me, okay? And you're supposed to be a level 1 character. It doesn't work. You take your shattered life and pieces of your boat, you go build a shanty, and you make creepy little seashell statues that you might sell to other abandoned people or get eaten by the crabs. Your life is done.